Good evening. Start time 5:05 p.m. Welcome to the Design Review Board meeting of April 23rd, 2026. The DRB meeting is now called to order. Please refrain from talking among yourselves during the meeting, and please turn off or put on vibrate all cell phones at this time. For public comments and questions during the meeting, please call 818-937-8100. City staff will be submitting the questions and comments in real time to the appropriate person. Current DRB agendas and staff reports are available by visiting our website at www.glendaleca.gov. Records of decisions for all projects will be posted online on the Development Services Division's website. A handout describing the procedures of the meeting, possible board decisions, and DRB appeal is available from staff. Please note that any appeal of a case heard today must be filed within 15 calendar days of the DRB decision date. Meetings are also archived on the city's website for viewing anytime at glendaleca.gov/agendas. And this is a roll call. Board Member Lakarev.
Present.
Board Member Welch.
Present.
Board Member Simonian is absent. Board Member Kaskanian.
Present.
And Chairperson Halajian.
Present.
Thank you. Moving forward in the agenda, reports regarding posting of agenda. The agenda for the April 23rd, 2026 regular meeting of the Glendale Design Review Board was posted on the city's website and on the bulletin board outside City Hall on April 16, 2026. And approval of Design Review Board minutes from March 12, 2026. Do we have a motion?
I'll move to accept the minutes.
Thank you. And second?
Second.
Board Member Kaskanian? Thank you. Oral communication. Discussion is limited to items not a part of this agenda. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. Design Review Board may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. Mr. Chair, do we have any speaker card for the oral communication session?
No oral communication session.
Thank you. Moving to any board member comments. Do we have any comments from board? None.
No comments.
Thank you. And we do not have any old business. And we have 5 cases under item 7, new businesses tonight. We will start with item A, 1645 Allen Avenue, Design Review Case Number PDR 005843-2025. And I will turn this to the case planner, Mr. Alan Lamberg.
Thank you, Senior Planner Babakani. And thank you, Chairperson Halajian, and good evening, board members Kaskanian, Lakarev, and Welsh. And I recognize my colleague, Shohei Yaparian. Good evening, members of the public. My name is Alan Lamberg, and I'm the case planner for this project. The application under consideration for design review is 1645 Allen Avenue, case number PDR 005843-2025. The applicant, Hamlet Sadakian of 3D Studio Design, proposes to demolish an existing 2,500 square foot single-family dwelling built in 1937 and construct a new 2-story, 3,140 square foot, 3,140 square foot single-family dwelling and with a detached 411 square foot 2-car garage accessible from the street with new landscaping all on the 11,400 square foot site. The project includes construction of a detached 700 square foot accessory dwelling unit, which is permitted by right and not subject to design review. The project qualifies as a Class 3 new construction or conversion of small structures exemption pursuant to Section 15303 of the state CEQA guidelines because the project consists of one new single-family residence. Additionally, the property does not appear eligible for historic designation at the federal, state, or local level and is therefore not considered a historic resource under CEQA. The project location is in West Glendale and that this address is in a restricted residential R1R zone with the floor area ratio District 1. It's a flat rectangular lot accessed from the street. The site slopes gently along the street from northeast to southwest. The neighborhood consists of mostly 1- and 2-story single-family homes with a mix of architectural styles. There are no other projects in the vicinity. On the existing project site, the existing residence was constructed in the Tudor Revival architectural style. This residence, like other homes in the neighborhood, includes a split-level step-down with varied massing. And the proposed project is a contemporary-style residence that incorporates Mediterranean elements, consistent with the neighborhood's stylistic diversity. Key features include a symmetrical facade, projecting flat roof, porch, full-height first-story windows, and middle balconies. And just a quick clarifying point, there in the plans, there was a typographic error in the staff report on page 2. That's where I wrote that the floor area ratio was 0.14. It actually is 0.28. So the staff report otherwise correctly and consistently describes this 3,100 square foot floor area. Determination of compatibility. The staff report outlines determination of compatibility in 3 ways: site planning, mass and scale, and design and detail. So, one moment, please.
So we have technical difficulties with the TV, GTV6, so we need to have around like 5 minutes recess.
Okay. Thank you for your patience as we clarify that technical issue. So I'm going to get back on track here. We're talking about determination of compatibility. The staff report outlines determination of compatibility in 3 ways: site planning, mass and scale, design and detail. For site planning, the project slightly increases the building footprint and lot coverage, and the new construction is generally well integrated with the site's gentle slope. The detached garage remains over 100 feet from the street, and which helps keep massing low at the front and fits the pattern on this block. A new decorative paver driveway will extend to mid-lot. Although several existing trees will be removed, the landscape plan replaces them with 6 new trees and a variety of plantings to help shade the site and enhance the streetscape. The front yard keeps an open field with 2 simple wrought iron gates, and the proposed 29-foot setback meets code but sits forward of the neighborhood's median figure prevailing 37-foot, so a condition requires shifting the house to match that prevailing setback. Hardscape coverage is high, and the plans don't currently use permeable materials, so conditions require reducing paving or using permeable systems to improve stormwater performance. The project must also document compliance with minimum live plant coverage. For mass and scale, the contemporary design with Mediterranean elements is consistent with the area's stylistic range. The new home stays in roughly the same footprint as the existing structures, which limits grading and preserves usable open space. The building height stays below the 35-foot limit and reads lower from the street due to the slope. The design uses generous windows and reasonable floor heights, but the second floor massing remains too stacked on the front and rear elevations, so a condition requires restudying the second floor volume and side articulation. The 412 mansard roof also limits articulation, so alternative forms are required as part of massing revisions. For design and detail, the materials, stucco, clay tile, precast accents, dark window frames, are compatible with the neighborhood, and however, the entry appears overly tall and must be scaled down. Window details need revision for consistent operation. Recessed placement and divided light patterns with full specifications should be required. And the rear balconies may result in direct privacy impacts to adjacent properties, so those elements must be addressed or restudied. While materials are generally compatible, all materials need to be on that material board. Exterior lighting is currently excessive. Fixtures must be limited to essential locations. Downspouts, vents, and utilities must be shown in the plans, color matched, while avoiding primary facades. City departments provided comments with some recommendations of standard conditions of approval, which are imposed on similar projects. Now, for public comments, we did receive, my slide says no public comments received, but today, this morning, staff received a comment letter and 3 attachments from Francesca Smith, and the documents and comment in email format were forwarded to the board members for review and consideration. Now, for the recommendation, given all the information presented here and in the staff report, the staff recommends that the entitlement for design review be returned for redesign. Now, what follows are just brief reasons and rationale for this recommendation. The applicant is aware of these reasons and has communicated their intent to respond to these findings during this public hearing before the board. So just note that the first 3 items on the screen here are the major design items that form the basis for today's recommendation. That 1, massing does not respond well to the site's slope or the neighborhood step-down pattern. That the 412 mansard roof limits articulation and adds to perceived bulk, and that the entry height appears overly tall and dominant on the facade. Now, for the remaining items, these are minor issues that, if not addressed, also support today's recommendation. Number 4, window design and consistency are a little bit inconsistent with the style. It just lacks the divided lights and includes a visible slider. Number 5, exterior lighting is excessive with both the street side and rear elevations. Number 6, the hardscape relies heavily on non-permeable paving, and we recommend permeable materials or reduced paving. Number 7, the rear balconies may create a direct privacy impact to neighboring yards and windows, so that should be addressed. And lastly, number 8, the proposed 29-foot front setback meets code, but does not match the prevailing 37-foot neighborhood pattern. With the recommended conditions, now, should the board decide to approve of the design on conditions, we have these following conditions. That the applicant shall comply with the recommendations identified in the comments from the responsible agencies, and to revise plans as follows. A, restudy the second floor massing and improve side articulation to achieve a more balanced relationship with the surrounding context. B, restudy the entryway for a less monumental appearance and perhaps reduce its height. C, alternative roof forms shall be considered during massing revisions to enhance proportionality and diminish bulk. D, revise the window schedule to specify appropriate operation, recessed placement, and simulated divided lights, also known as grids. Additionally, include detailed drawings of each typical window with Muntin dimensions, horizontal and vertical sections, and so on, and to provide product specifications. E, maximize water permeability by either reducing paved areas or using permeable paving materials, such as ungrouted brick pavers or interlocking paving systems. F, provide manufacturer specifications and a material board for all finished elements, including the garage door, the decorative landscaping to confirm details, texture, and color. G, gotta get to my next slide. G, limit exterior lighting fixtures to the main entry, egress and balcony, porch doors, patio or balcony doors, and vehicle entrance. H, show downspouts and or gutters which shall match the adjacent wall color and finish, and vents and utility connections which shall integrate with the building's materials and color palette. And lastly, I, to include project data calculations showing the total square footage and percentage of live plant coverage within permanently landscaped open space. This concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Questions to staff?
Alan, just for the public, who are watching, there was no images up there, no renderings or anything of the project. So if we could really focus in on those now so that we
Sure.
can really go through those. Okay.
Sure. The applicant has provided some materials that might speak to that.
Okay.
Do you want to bring that up? Should I bring? Do you want me to bring up what the applicant brought? Sent to me?
Well, when we're ready for them.
Okay.
First, I wanted to
Okay,
ask
sure.
about the letter we received about the historical relevancy of the property and the pending historic overlay zone. Is there any information that you can share about that?
Yes. Okay. Let me grab my note. There we go. Yep. Some of my stuff sometimes magically disappears on me. Let me find it. Okay. Verify. Here we go. Oh, yes. Okay. The question is whether the commenter's materials show anything unusual about the property that would prevent it from the city using a CEQA exemption for this project. So, as you know, state law says that the city can rely on an exemption unless there is clear evidence of a special or unusual condition that would cause a meaningful environmental impact. So courts have ruled that a project is not automatically unusual just because someone claims it might have an impact. There must be real evidence showing that the property is different from others in this category, the CEQA category. So staff reviewed the commenter's claims carefully, and that staff early on in 2025 had reviewed the East-West Glendale Reconnaissance Survey and determined that, which is some past consultant work, and and that survey was, let's see, yes, East-West Glendale Reconnaissance Survey, which was a draft city record used to help identify potential historic resources. And as part of this entitlement review in 2025, the staff conducted an individual staff historic evaluation of this property. Additionally, neither staff nor the city's survey consultants identified that this property is either historic or potentially historic, and neither identified a potential historic district in this area. So
Well, that was the gist of my question, is about the
Yes.
historic district. Is there a pending application or something in the works that we should be aware of?
No, there's no application, there's no nomination. The review of the evidence showed that there is no evidence that the property qualifies, and as to whether or not a future historic district might exist is speculative and does not constitute substantial evidence.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions to the staff?
Just to clarify a little further, who conducted the historic evaluation initially? Was it was city staff or was it an architectural historian? I just wasn't sure.
I think, as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's under the principal planner, Jay Platt, her historic preservation team had hired consultants
Okay,
to perform that study
thank you.
as under a city contract.
Thank you.
I have one question. Did we have what type of, and I don't know if I saw it, sorry if I missed it, but what type of trees were they going to be removing?
I think when they're developing the whole site, there's some existing trees, but there's no indigenous trees. As you can see on the, so that's the proposed thing, but I think the applicant can provide you an existing site plan, but yeah, there is no indigenous trees that are being removed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to invite the architect or the applicant to speak. Hamid Sadeyan. Please, you have 5 minutes, and if you can state your name for the record.
Good evening, members, Commissioner. My name is Hamlet Sadekian. I'm the architect of the project. I'd like to thank Alan for helping us with the presentation and helping us get here. When we started designing this project, the owner was interested in more of a modern, contemporary design, but as we started walking through the neighborhood, we realized it's a mix of Spanish and Mediterranean style houses with an even mix of 1- and 2-story houses. So the neighborhood it's an even mix with single and double-story houses. So we changed our design style. We went with the Spanish Mediterranean style, and after further consideration, we came to the conclusion that this is the style of a house that they want. So we did some research. We went back through previous projects that had been approved and through the design review board process, and we found a house that the owners liked, and we took some elements from that house, and we thought and it's just a few streets over, and it was a recent project, so we thought that might be something that we should consider. After our initial meetings with the design review staff back in August and September, we seemed to have a positive response from staff in the direction that we were heading in. The only objections being the monumentality of the entry, and which the owner and I don't think is that monumental, but and the other question was about the massing of the upper floor. The recommendation was to set the second floor in just a little bit. So our initial design on the western facade, we set the middle portion in just a little bit, and on the eastern facade, the bedroom toward the back was inset about a foot, but in our latest design, we've pushed that even more. Alan, if you wanna, we can go through some of these items in a second, if you don't mind. So at the end of January, we received another email from staff asking us to make some minor adjustments and troubleshooting to reduce these conditions, and a list that included some concerns about the inconsistencies between our site plan and the landscape architect's plan, and there were some notations that needed to be taken care of. All of those things were taken care of, and we resubmitted the project, and we seemed to get a positive response, and there's no further communication as to there's anything else that needs to be done. So we thought we had staff support, and a couple of weeks before the DRB date, we were kind of surprised to find the recommendation from the design staff that what we needed to do. So we quickly scrambled and we came up with a new design and we presented that to Alan, which is something that we have up on the board. And I can go ahead and go through these and illustrate the changes that we've made. One of the questions on that, the one on the top is the original design there, and the one on the bottom is the updated design. The middle portion, staff recommended that that middle portion entry is monumental, so we brought it down to match the same line as the first, at the top of the first floor there. We removed all of the lights except the two flanking the entry door and the one on upstairs on the balcony there, which I think we're required to have as per building code. We've also added grids there on the windows. On the driveway, there's a question about having pavers and the permeability. What we did, every 5 feet of the driveway, we're gonna do a 6-inch cut that's gonna be filled with gravel, so it'll prevent water runoff toward the street. Let's see, that's that. Zoning code asks for 40% of landscaping on the lot, and I think we have well over 50 now. As far as the location of the house, placement of the house, our original design had it at 30 feet, which is twice the amount that the zoning code asks for. I think in the R1R zone, it's a 15-foot requirement. We put it at 30 feet. Staff recommended it at 37 feet. And to the owner's reluctance, we had to push it back 7 more feet, which kind of squished the backyard a little bit more. But and the way we got the 30 feet was those 2 little blue dots. The one on the left is the corner of the neighbor on the left, and the one on the right is the other neighbor. So we just drew a straight line, and we were right in the middle there at 30 feet. But on the updated design, we've pushed it back to the 37 as per staff's recommendation. And we've also removed some of the hardscaping in the backyard and replaced it with landscaping there. Let's see. If you want to go to the next slide, Alan. The floor plan on the left is the original floor plan, and the one on the right is the updated floor plan. On the eastern side, you can see on the rear portion, we've pushed the bedroom back a little bit more, and we've added a roof there to break up that mass. And we've done the same on the left side with the middle portion being set back a little. As far as the mansard roof, we replaced that with a hip roof that gives us a little more articulation as per staff's recommendation. And I think the renderings will illustrate in a little bit. When we get to the renderings, you'll see how that breaks the massing down. These are the elevations that show at the bottom we had the original design, and on the top it's the updated design. By the way, those hatches on the original design, the horizontal hashes, that's not siding there. And I think there was a question about that. I just wanted to illustrate that sets back a few inches. But now I think we're setting it back about 18 inches from the facade. Let's see if you want to go to the next slide.
So is there going to be lap siding still, or?
No,
No,
we're not.
okay.
We just put the hedge just to illustrate that it's set back,
Okay.
and you can see that on the renderings. But on the south elevation, on the updated one, we pulled that roof between the first and second floor to break up that massing even more. Let's see. And if you want to, and these are the renderings, 3D renderings that illustrate how we're able to just push and pull the facades back to give it a little bit more relief. I think we've covered most of the items that were brought up by staff, most of the questions. I'm not sure if you have the updated set of drawings. I can pass those out to you.
Let me have.
Thank you.
think we've addressed most of the concerns that were brought up by design staff, and we'll be happy to take any of your questions and your recommendations, and hopefully get an approval with conditions.
Any questions to the app? Go ahead, Mr.
Mr. Sadikian. So the front facade there has a massing on the right-hand side that extends for 2 stories. But in the second story, it's really, there's no room there. It's just open space. So why is it still pushed out when staff clearly gave you some direction that the second story should be set back?
Well, that's a 2-story space. That's the owner, well, we've got the stairs going up on the right side there, so, but that was one of our design intents, was to have a 2-story living room space in the front with the high ceiling there.
But it's the dining room and really just the entry that's in that 2-story space, if I'm reading this correctly.
Right, it's just a tall, open 2 stories, and I mean, we can take a recommendation and make that modification if that's
Okay.
gonna. And I
So-
mean, I'm sorry, we felt like having that break, having the bedroom and the middle portion being further back, we didn't feel like that was necessary to.
No,
take
I
the
understand
setback.
articulation is nice, but, you know, it's a very tall structure, and it was, particularly at the setback that was where the story poles were, it's very tall, and definitely, you know, not in line with the prevailing setback on the street. But now, as I understand it, you're now proposing that it will be brought to 37 foot to
Correct.
be in line? Yes?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, thank you.
Any other
Additional
questions?
questions?
Not at this time.
I have one question. Regarding second floor master bathroom,
Yes.
you kind of put it in the middle, separate the balconies. Have you done any consideration where you put the mass either on the right or on the left of the house, and kind of have it one larger balcony instead of 2 separate balconies? Because it seems odd in the backside, kind of have that mass, just especially with that window being
Mhm.
kind of horizontal,
Mhm,
narrow
mhm,
window.
mhm.
I understand why you're doing the narrow window, which is for privacy
Right.
reasons, but maybe you can shift the mass on either side and
Okay.
have a shared balcony. So something to consider.
Yeah, and one more thing, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, was one of the concerns was the privacy from the balconies toward the neighbors. Our landscape architect put Italian cypresses all along the sides of the property to give it a vegetated screen for privacy purposes.
And how tall these cypresses grow typically?
They grew up to 30, 40 feet tall.
Okay. All right. I don't have any additional questions.
I do have a question. Regarding the window detailing, you mentioned that you would follow the recommendation for inset windows with divided lights. In the back, it still appears to be not divided in the sides as well. What I want to be clear on what your proposal is. Yeah.
I think the recommendation was just for the front and anything visible from the street. And I mean, if we need to do the divided lights in the sides as well, we'll definitely make that work.
Additional questions?
No.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to invite Francesca Smith. You have 3 minutes, and if you can please state your name for the record.
I know you have a long meeting. I hope I don't go over 3 minutes. Thank you. Okay, I'll start now. Thanks. Good afternoon. My name is Francesca Smith. I'm a qualified architectural historian under the Secretary of the Interior's professional qualifications standards that are in federal regulations. I have about 40 years of experience doing this. I'm grateful for the opportunity to comment on this project, particularly as a proud alumna of your own Design Review Board. I see staff's recommendation, and I'm providing my own as an expert in the CEQA and architectural history. So with nearly 20 of my neighbors, I'm very concerned about the proposed demolition of the residence. My correspondence proves, using facts and expert opinion predicated on those facts, that the subject property is a contributor to a previously unevaluated small historic district of 14 buildings. Attachments A, B, and C provide that with footnotes, information, homeowners' names, when everything was built, analysis of the continuum of styles over the 20th century. So only 2 properties in that neighborhood of 14 are non-contributors. So as staff was discussing, a categorical exemption can't be used if it would cause a substantial adverse change to a historic resource. My report demonstrates that both the unidentified historic district and the property in question are historic. I presented in that letter a fair argument with its attachments that a substantial adverse change would occur to 2 previously unidentified resources. Preparation of an EIR is required in that case. The fair argument in my case is backed by substantial evidence, actual footnotes, facts, information, dates, and they're defined in CEQA as reasonable assumptions predicated on facts and expert opinion supported by facts. It was proven in 2023 in a case against City of Glendale that they lost regarding historic property, that I am an expert in this field and that my opinion isn't biased. What you guys have heard from the city, unfortunately, and in your staff report, may I have 30 more seconds?
Yes.
Thank you, I apologize. Is that it doesn't matter how much evidence supports their non-evidence. You guys have heard from staff. You don't have one piece of paper proving that. And the survey and evaluation that Mr. Lamberg referred to aren't substantial evidence. They haven't been vetted, they haven't been reviewed, and what you have is substantial evidence. It doesn't mean it has to be designated. I hope you all can consider this in your making your big decision today and elsewise if you need to. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite the next speaker, Mr. Ara Kürkcan.
Thank you. My name is Ara Kürkcan. I've been living on this block since 2001. And in the last couple of years, we've had some ADUs pop up. As Alan said, it's not subject to your discretion. They were just popped out, and we're very short on parking on the street. Those ADUs, each house has 4 cars, so a total of 8 cars per plot per se on our block. I used to own a lot which I sold with plans back in 2004, where when we were designing it back then, the city asked us to, the neighborhood didn't want us to have a garage in the front where we had a detached garage, and were asked to not to back up to the street, whereas pull up to the street facing out. So looking at this plan with a detached garage and an ADU, I don't think that parking is going to be utilized. Nobody on the street, including myself, utilized the detached garage. I recommend the garage to be built in the front, attached or detached. It's their privilege. I mean, if they put detached, they can put it on a property line, if they choose so. But that garage may very well, was not going to be utilized for its intended purposes as a parking space. And if we think someone's going to back up 100 and some odd feet every day in and out, we're kidding ourselves. So the design, everything, I'm fine with it. That if they want to develop it, by all means. But we don't need to encumber the street more by overuse of parking, by buy additional units per se in a block. That's all I have to say. And if they can design it, put a parking attached or detached in the front, it'll be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any phone calls?
There are no phone calls.
Phone calls. Would the applicant would like to, or architect would come back and answer some of the questions or the comments that raised by the public?
Yes.
Yeah. If you can state your name one more time,
Sure.
please.
I'm Hamlet Sadikian. I'm the architect of the project.
Thank
I
you.
don't believe we had any indication of anything historic with this property, and it's actually been vacant for, I believe, 20 years or so. There hasn't been anybody living there for many, many years, so it's a dilapidated property that definitely needs to go. As far as the question about the garage, if you bring the garage to the front, you can't put it on the property line. It has to have the 10-foot setback in the R1R zone. In this case, it's going to take up half the house, just having the garage in the front, which just doesn't make sense. And I think most projects want the garages to be in the back rather than having direct access from the front.
And are there any plans for converting that to ADU?
No, we're already doing an ADU at the rear of the property. I mean, we have plans to do an ADU at the rear, but there's no plans to convert that to an ADU.
Okay. And you mentioned about the house being vacant for a long time.
Yes.
Is it livable condition right now, or is
No,
it?
it's not. It's not. That's the reason the owners wanted to tear it down and build a new house. It was just beyond repair, so.
And was it owned by the same individual, or it was,
The owner-
or like?
Do you know if it was owned by the same individual for many years?
Yeah, it's been vacant for close to 25 years.
That's, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions, additional questions? No, thank you. Okay, now I would like to close the public portion of this case and go into rebuttal. Board Member Lacroft, would you like to begin, or?
Sure. Sure. So I thank you to both staff for your report and also to the applicant and everyone who came out today. I was initially, when I saw this, I fully agreed with staff that it doesn't meet Glendale Design Review Board guidelines. It really is massive, and I think that the applicant has taken good steps in the right direction in terms of bringing down the massing, but it's not quite there yet, and I'd love to discuss amongst the board. And I'd also like to discuss the information we've been receiving regarding the historic nature of the existing property, because it is, I value the expert opinion of an architectural historian, and so I do want to discuss that as well, whether it's us returning for redesign or having them do a historic evaluation, or sending this to the historic board to be able to make that proper determination if it's historic or not. So that I'd love to hear what my fellow board members think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Board Member Welsh, would you like?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, likewise, I'm on the fence whether, we do a return for redesign or work within this second submission. Certainly, having this second submission from the applicant makes a difference. I still believe that most of staff's recommendations are still applicable. I still think that's the second-story massing, again, especially that portion that is right in line with the front facade, is really unnecessary. It doesn't really, there's no room behind it that would provide some justification for it. So just having a second-story massing for the sake of a second-story massing. Not really is a good justification for my mind for having such a massive part of the edifice of the house. Other things that I would focus on would be the general scale of the fenestration is quite large. The second-story windows are very large within the spaces. The arches and the windows, even on the first floor, seem a little bit overscaled for the style of home. So I would look at, potentially downscaling them a little bit on the first floor, a little bit more on the second floor, just to create a proper hierarchy of windows, in a house of this kind of a style. I do still think that the entry is a bit monumental. Mr. Lambert, could we have the newest submission rendering put up on the screen, please?
Yes, sir.
I think it does look like it's been scaled down a little bit from the earlier one, but, still potentially a little bit could be considered in the monumental, and I'd like to hear other people's opinions on that as well. And then the setback was also a big thing to me when I visited the site. I was a little thrown aback by how much further forward it was than the other properties on the street. So I appreciate the applicant being willing to do a setback further back. I think that will help a lot to bring it into alignment. Again, excessive use of lighting on the facades has always been one of my pet peeves. They should be restricted just to entryways. But overall, I think that, the design is fine. I think that's the style meets the neighborhood. I think the choice of materials is fine. I appreciate the adding of grids to the windows to bring it to a more true style of that sort of modern Spanish Mediterranean style. And as far as the historical thing, I'm a little torn myself, I think I'd be more compelled to do something if there was an active application for a historic zone or something that was in the works. Just being prospective one, I think might be a little bit of a stretch. You really have to have some resemblance to an active participation, or a bunch of the neighbors coming out and saying, hey, yes, we want a historic zone. But even the one neighbor who came in didn't really talk about that. So I'm not as convinced of that, although I appreciate the effort, and I think that it is a lovely neighborhood and definitely has a lot of contributing homes. And I would definitely encourage any homeowner in any neighborhood that has a lot of historic homes, do that work now to make it a historic zone, because that will give the neighborhood protection, whereas a potential historic zone, I'm not sure gives protection under current CEQA laws. So I think that's the crux of my comments. I agree with the applicant about the garage location. I think it's the most appropriate location. Having it detached allows you to put it on the property line and gives you the maximum use of the space, and especially since they are pulling the house back to the 37-foot line, I think every square foot of land is valuable. So I appreciate that. So those are my comments, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Board Member Walsh. Board Member Kesselkin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I, too, in the beginning was on the fence, but I think these second renderings and the plans that we received got me a little bit like one step forward, but I still am on the fence, I feel, right now. Overall, I do think the design of the property, you've done a great job with it, definitely fits in regards to the neighborhood. I do think that it does need to be restudied in the sense that it does look a lot bulkier. A lot of designs, when I first pulled this up, a lot of designs that we've had, when it does look like there's a big box just right on top, we've usually have sent back for redesign. But I think you've done some efforts, at least towards that right direction. With the new designs, I think the entryway still needs to be a little bit more studied. There is definitely a big massing there. The second floor, Yeah, I think that, sorry, what I'm trying to say is that the second floor, the vertical with the windows, I do think it looks a lot more bulkier. So if there is an opportunity for us to do that with a setback, I think it's going to definitely make it look a little bit better or more aligned. In regards to the historic aspect of it, I do appreciate everything you wrote, Francisca, and I did get a chance to review it. But whatever is in front of us and whatever the city provides us is usually what we go with, because we are not the historians nor we are the experts in this. So I do appreciate the historic work, and as Board Member Welsh did bring up, if there are opportunities for the community to put those historic districts in hand, please go ahead and do so, because we're not the body that does the historical stuff here. There's a separate body for that. But what's in front of me right now is that, it is not a historic or is not deemed historic. So what I'm going to go based off of is like what the current designs are, and I think I would be okay with us moving forward with approval with the conditions, and if there are more conditions that we do need to go ahead and put forth, we can do so. I'm also, if we need to go ahead and put the redesign too, I'm open to those options as well. So I'm still on the fence with that.
Well, thank you, Board Member Kasakian. As far as my thoughts about this project, initially I was also taken away the amount of conditions that was put by the staff, and I tend to agree with those conditions. But later on, and given the short period that you got notified, there seems to be a very proactive approach on your end, and try to address a lot of those conditions or comments by the staff, and I appreciate that. There's definitely a good faith effort. There's a room for improvement in terms of scale, especially at the second floor master bathroom. That just seems a little bit to scale. I mean, it just seems large mass that just in the center of the house, where it's also visible by your neighbors. I do appreciate that you adding the grids to the windows. It softens the scale a bit, but there's also, as Board Member Welsh mentioned, they're tall windows, so you can maybe scale those down and soften the mass at the front more, especially at the entryway. I do love the design, but instead of having kind of not a standalone structure, but it's a protrusion of a structure, you can incorporate that stone with the wall instead of making a protrusion, maybe. So as far as there are still some conditions, I believe, or comments by the staff that are missing. For example, the downspouts. I don't know if I saw the downspouts. At least it's not on the rendering, so it's kind of hard to visualize it, but they are on the elevations? Okay. Okay, thank you for that. But there are also some additional minor maybe comments by the staff that those can be addressed. As far as the historic element, again, I wish there was an active application. I would have been more keen, but given that it's not available, it's kind of hard for us to make that determination, and it'll be a stretch, in my opinion, to make this a historic property or historic application. So I do believe there's an opportunity here with appropriate conditions to move the project forward. If there's not, of course, we can, send it back for redesign or restudy. So well, those are my comments.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
If you weren't finished, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, just in response, I think as I'm taking it all in, I am actually thinking with the comment that the chair made regarding the back volume moving, I do think that's a really good idea. It would help a lot, and with my colleague, Board Member Welsh, his comment with bringing down the roof at the front, I feel like there are enough big changes that I would like to see it come back to us. That's what I would like to see. And also, I do find the front entryway still a bit bulkier than the rest. I would love to see that more in alignment with the other arches so that all three were on the same plane together. I think that would help, and maybe even in the same material. And one concern I have with, I really do appreciate the updates, is that there's so much vegetation on it that I think it's kind of shielding maybe it looking the same as it was before. And so I think that's part of where my concern lies. That we're not really seeing the side views too are pretty monolithic and big. I do really appreciate that it's being set back more, so maybe that would assist. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I stand.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the fact that applicant took the time to push even 7 more additional feet towards, towards the back of the property. Well, any thoughts on the whether setting certain conditions or sending back to redesign, I guess? Are there, I mean, that's kind of where my thoughts are, but right now, and as far as, can we implement enough conditions to move the project or send it back to redesign?
So you're more along the lines of move it, approve it with conditions? You're more return for
I would like to
redesign?
return it, yeah.
You were kind of on the fence here?
Yeah.
Could go either way?
Yeah, I mean, I see your point.
Mike?
I see your point with like adding a lot of the vegetation. I think definitely breaks it up a little bit more.
Right.
So yeah, I am still on the fence.
What I'm hearing from my colleagues is that there's still some major elements that needs to be revised.
Correct.
So
Yeah, for sure.
regardless,
Definitely,
right? So,
that's why.
well, maybe with the proper guidance, we can approach it that way. Send the redesign. So.
Well, I think that's, a return for redesign might be warranted here because, again, the submission that we're all talking about here was not actually the official submission that was in the packet. So I'd like to basically give the applicant the opportunity to make it the official submission and take in some further guidance that we might give. And hopefully it can be a very rapid turnaround in terms of getting it back to us for a final decision. So that would be my inclination. So I think that we should, look at staff's conditions if we want to add anything to them. I still think they largely stand as, written. And I think we can speak to what we like that the applicant has done to address those. But I would still want to add at least one more about the scaling of the windows and give some specific recommendation on restudying the second floor massing. So I think that that's where we can be of most service here, is giving at least a little bit more specific guidance to staff and to the applicant.
Right.
Revise window
Yeah.
size. So like revising the window size and proportions and the placements. We're talking about the second story, right? Second story?
Well, I'm talking generally
General.
about, there's usually a hierarchy, and especially in a design like this, there's usually a hierarchy of windows from the second floor to the first. That second floor windows tend to be downscaled a little bit from the first floor. First floor are the public spaces, second floor are usually the private spaces, so they tend to be a little bit smaller traditionally. So I think that that would be applicable here, especially just looking at the overall composition of the front facade. It's very glass heavy. And I think that it could be better balanced with a little bit less of glass.
And even lowering that two-story volume, for instance, could achieve that? The windows will naturally get smaller on that, this volume here.
Yeah, well,
Right.
in that particular volume, I think should still be set back. It maybe doesn't have to be
Correct.
set back as far as where the bedroom walls are, but some measure to reduce the verticality of that massed element there.
Correct.
So, in addition to what you said, Board Member Walsh, so item 2A remains, 2B remains. It seems like the applicant is actively working regarding item 2C.
Yeah, I think
and
the
we
hip
have- we
roof
have-
form works.
We have no
Works
issues.
for it,
right?
yeah.
Revised window, that item 2D remains, correct?
Mhm.
Correct.
If we go to the next page, I'm sorry, next slide. They already addressed item 2E, so that's already, it can stay or it can be removed, I guess. If
It
the
can
staff.
remain is because it'll give guidance for the next submission, which I think is here, but, you know,
2F, I think it got eliminated by the applicant. They no longer have the board material finish, my understanding.
well, I think that's just a material board generally
Oh,
for the
I'm sorry,
project.
I
yes.
apologize, yes. Limit exterior light, yes. Downspouts and gutters, they've already included. Showing, okay, so all these items remain. So we're adding, is there one more slide? Nope. So we're adding one more item, as you described, and then the second floor master bathroom mass, shifting it,
I think
Yeah.
that's a great
yeah,
idea. Yep.
either right or left of the house.
Or generally coming up with a solution that makes
Sure.
it less of a prominent protuberance on the
Sure.
second floor there.
Yep. So with that, we will send it for redesign.
So, Mr. Lemberg, are you clear on what we've gone through here in terms of all those conditions and modifications?
I'll briefly reiterate, the new conditions you're wanting to add is that the windows respond to a hierarchy of elements. For example, having the second-story windows be a little smaller, the windows overall being more balanced. And that another condition would be that the second-floor master bath to shift to either side to be less of a protuberance. And then regarding the original conditions, that all the conditions apply, and that but we do recognize that they are making an effort to, particularly on Part C, having the alternative roof form, and that they made some progress with D, with the grids, and that they've made progress with E for water permeability. And I think the rest of the items we're confident that they can address.
Yeah.
I would recommend to keep all the conditions still applicable because the official submittal is what was in the file and was presented to the public. And the second submittal is just the ideas of the redesign according to the conditions. So I would like to have all the conditions still be applicable for the record of decision.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, with that, I'll make the motion for a return for redesign with those conditions as just articulated.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion made by Board Member Welch and seconded by Board Member Koskanian. This is a roll call. Board Member Lakarev,
Yes.
Board Member Koskanian,
Yes.
Board Member Welch,
Yes.
and Chair Holajian.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is to return for redesign with stated conditions. Thank you. And we are moving now to item B. We have Mr. Kiesel, case planner for the property located at 1624 Larco Way. Design review case number PDR 004538-2025.
All right, good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the Design Review Board. The next item this evening is case number PDR 004538-2025. It is a review of a proposal to construct a 697 square foot addition to an existing 2,172 square foot, one-story single-family residence. The house was originally built in 1953 and will be 2,869 feet after the addition, and it will remain one story. The lot is approximately 7,881 square feet and zoned R1R with a floor area ratio District 2. The project is exempt from CEQA as a Class 1 existing facilities exemption because the addition to the existing house will not result in an increase of more than 50% of the floor area or 2,500 square feet, whichever is less. So the subject site is on the northeast corner of Larco Way and Darrell Drive. These are photos of the existing house from the adjacent streets. So this is the house from Darrell and the front of the house from Larco. So I'm just going to go through real briefly the floor plans, elevations, the proposed site plan. Those areas outlined in red are the proposed additions to the house. This is the first floor plan, first floor plan. The west elevation or the front Larco elevation. The street side or the Darrell elevation. This is the east elevation, the kind of the rear of the house. And then the north elevation is the side of the house going up Larco. Project renderings, this is the front, sort of looking from the corner, the street intersection. This is looking from Darrell. Sort of at the intersection again, kind of a bird's eye view. All right, getting to site planning compatibility. Site planning for the project is acceptable and really doesn't change significantly from the present condition. The driveway and garage location and configurations are not being altered. And while a portion of the proposed addition is an extension of the entryway, it's still sort of oriented in the same toward Larco. Staff is suggesting a condition of approval to submit landscape plans for the street front and street side elevations, or street front and street side yards, for review and approval by staff, as these areas currently aren't really maintained and will further deteriorate due to the work. And so these are, again, pictures of the same street elevations. So related to mass and scale, staff does have some suggestions related to mass and scale, which would make the project better conform with the design guidelines. In general, the residence will remain consistent with the surrounding neighborhood, which is generally low-scale, one-story homes. Lots in the neighborhood were graded before development of the homes, and with the exception of the proposed retaining wall on the east side of the garage, which you can see here, there will be no additional grading. Staff does suggest to restudy the Larco Way facade of the residence to improve its scale and proportion. This should include the bay window area on the left, or to the left of the residence, as well as the new bedroom to the right. Those things that should be restudied include lowering the head height of the ceiling and changing the front window orientation of the bedroom to more vertically oriented. Additionally, the roof plan should be restudied to eliminate the awkward transition and simplify the overall plan. This may be a little bit hard to read, but there are three sort of eaves at the front of the house, and they kind of intersect each other in a little bit of an awkward situation. So finally, design and detailing compatibility. There are no privacy concerns related to the project, and the proposed entry to the residence is modest in scale, and you can see that here. Sort of fits in and is recessed within the overall front elevation. Staff is suggesting to restudy the proposed materials used on the residence. You can see on the material board here. Additionally, some of the proposed windows are sliding, and that operation style is really inappropriate to this style of residence. Windows should operate, or operational windows should either be fixed casement or hung windows. Staff is recommending wood or fiberglass material, and then recessed within the facades of the residence. Window proportions should also be restudied. So staff has five proposed conditions of approval. The front yard landscape plans shall be submitted to review and approval by staff. The second is restudy the Larco Way facade of the residence to improve its scale and proportion. The third is to restudy the roof plan to reduce the number of roof pitches and eliminate the awkward transitions. The fourth condition is to restudy the use and placement of material to build upon the composition of the present house and enhance its appearance. And then the final condition related to the windows is proposed windows shall be fiberglass or wood material, fixed casement or hung in operation, and recessed within the facades of the residence. Also, window proportion shall be restudied. So that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions to staff? I have one question. The proposed windows right now, are they vinyl? Or is it
I
unspecified?
believe they are. Yeah, let me just double check on the plans.
Okay. Any questions, Ms.? I do not have a speaker card for this case. However, did you fill out the speaker card? Would you like? Yeah. If approach to the podium, please. State your name, and then you can fill out the speaker card when you're done. Yeah. And if you can state your role as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hi, board. My name is Vlad Artunian. Our firm is handling the design on this project. The homeowner, Sergey, is sitting behind me. For the most part, it's a pretty relatively straightforward project considering the previous one. I think Mr. Kiesel did a great job presenting this project. As far as some of the recommendations he's asking for, we're not altering too much what we're proposing. Majority of the windows are staying the same. There's only a small area being added. A good chunk of what's being revised is facing into the backyard. It's about 50-50. I don't think we're really imposing into the neighborhood. We're not really reconfiguring anything much. One thing I would like to make a note of is This project was necessitated by the fact that the original roof construction is wood shingle. The house is deteriorating. We've actually been in this planning process for a little over 4 years. There's some staffing changes. Roger's actually our fourth planner, so we've had a lot of staff look at this project. We've incorporated a lot of recommendations throughout this process. Every planner has a different take, and we've incorporated everything, we believe so. So we are really at the core of this, trying to rebuild this roof. Every time it rains, the ceiling collapses, there's water intrusion. The homeowner has little kids, they cry every rainy season. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of rainy seasons. So I just want to highlight the importance of the structural health concern aspect of this project. We're hoping to get approval from you guys. If there are minor design recommendations, we've been nothing but flexible these past 4 years, and we're happy to continue doing so.
Any questions to the design architect?
Was there any consideration to keep the existing bay window or reinterpreting it it's like some other way?
That was one of the main design elements that the homeowner wanted to do, is just to add more lighting. It's really dark in their current family room, living room. It's the only source of light that we have. It's kind of in the center of the house, and there's no other way to get light into that room. That's the main reason why we kind of reconfigured that bay window. It's just super difficult to get light into that central part of the house.
Okay, thank you.
Additional questions to?
Well, I was going to actually ask that same question. The other one was about the brick. The brick chimney is being retained. Right now, there's brick veneer along the facade, right? But now you're proposing to change that to a stone.
Correct.
Is there any consideration for why not keep it as brick?
With the roof that we chose, it would complement the character of the house a lot better. It's really difficult to, I mean, the house is wood shake, you're changing the roof, that's where we started, that was square one. And our client actually walked the neighborhood several times and saw all the new construction, different roof ideas, and they saw one a few blocks away and they loved it. So we found out the roofing material, and that's how we kind of started our design. And once we kind of got the roof up, it was kind of if we would have left the brick, you guys would have said, something doesn't look right about this house. So once we put the roof on there, which is a great roof, hopefully for the next 50 years they don't have to worry about a leaky roof, then it was kind of like what complements the facade. And we didn't want to just do smooth stucco all around, give it that modern contemporary look. So we figured we would go from brick to stone veneer. And actually the house they got their inspiration from also had, we borrowed, for lack of a better word, the stone veneer that they used as well. It's a beautiful house. It complements each other really well.
Okay. So you've seen the conditions that Mr. Kiesel put forward. Do you have any thoughts in particular about the roof plan?
Roof, it's a very difficult house to design for.
I can
We're
see that.
retaining majority of the roof. The only question is the area added. And we've had one planner say, why doesn't the gable open facing Larco? Next planner came and said, have it face into Darrell Drive. We've changed it. Then another planner said, why don't we, it's a 50-50. Honestly, there's only two ways to skin this cat. We are open to either one. I personally think it looks better opening to the gable opening to Larco Way, because that's where the entry to the house is. But if that's your guys' design recommendation, like I said, the owner's been nothing but flexible. He's willing to, we're just hoping to get a condition of approval if there is any conditions. So as far as roof, we're keeping the roof as is. We're just making this minor change in the front. Whatever you guys decide, we will happily oblige.
Okay.
Can we look at the elevation again? The slide. Sorry. I apologize.
No, I'm done.
These are the two street elevations.
Right now you're putting the gable at the main entrance.
Correct. Alternatively, as you can see on the bottom elevation, it would be on the leftmost side. If we were to reconfigure the gable, it would essentially open on the leftmost side. which would, in my opinion, it doesn't invite you to the entry of the house if it opens towards Darrell Street. But again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
As far as the transition existing and new, I believe there was some awkward transition, if I heard you correctly. Can you shed some light on that?
I think it was Roger, you were bringing it up.
Yeah, the roofs right here just sort of intersect each other in weird ways.
I can't see what you're pointing at.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing was the roof pitches of each are slightly different, which adds to the complexity a bit.
We thought about that, if I may, but if you keep the same pitch, it gives that sawtooth look as well. We're just trying to create some kind of articulation in the roof. But like I said, if you guys want us to match the roof, we'll happily match the roof. It's gonna start looking sawtooth, in my humble opinion.
And then, I'm sorry, Board Member Lockhart, do you have any questions?
I was just going to ask if you could, while we're talking about this, bring up, there was a 3D view as well?
I'm sorry.
Wasn't there a 3D view of this as well? I thought that might help us as well. Thank you. Thank you.
This?
Correct, yeah, I thought it might help in this discussion. Thank you.
As far as the conditions regarding the windows, do you agree with the staff? Any restudying the windows and how they're, the style and?
Ideally, we would like to go with vinyl windows to kind of keep things cost effective, to be quite frank. The owners incurred a lot of costs from the damage, from the leaky roof. His attic's in a terrible situation. It's gonna cost him quite a bit of money just to clean all that out. We're kind of hoping to kind of take that into consideration. The windows we're proposing, they look great. It's just a question of, again, eye in the eye of the beauty in the eye of the beholder.
Would you be okay with like casement style or hung windows, even if you could do them in vinyl?
As far as operations concerned, like I said, I have the most flexible client in the world.
Okay.
If you guys want the operation to be different, it's a little bit more difficult to procure hung or casement, but.
Oh, that's not true.
Yeah.
But again, if you guys say casement, he's not the type to kick or scream.
Okay.
Okay. I have no more questions. Questions? Board?
I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
It's at the main entrance.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Do we have any callers?
We have no callers.
And I do not have any
We
additional.
have no callers.
I do not have additional, so at this point, I would like to close the public hearings session and go into rebuttal. Board Member Welsh, would you like to start this time?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I mean, I generally support the project. You know, I think it's a modest expansion of the house. I understand what they're trying to do. Certainly, I want to give them the opportunity to repair that roof and get rid of a wood shingle roof. I think I think probably like Mr. Kazakian, I'm not a big fan of that sort of semi-round facade element with all of that glass. It seems out of scale and a little bit out of character. So I do think that's, doing a study of that. I can appreciate that the current bay window does not provide sufficient, light into the space. But it looks like, I think that I saw some skylights being put in elsewhere, so you could certainly still put in skylights to help bring light in there. But I do think that's, should be restudied to you know, maybe balance that, particularly the sheer amount of glass that is, and it's not quite in keeping with the others. I generally concur with Mr. Kiesel's recommendations. I think the real question is this roof form. And it is a tricky one, I'll grant it. I think I see the applicant's points about, you know, the gable ends facing the entry street, that makes some sense. But I could also see that, you know, having it turn 90 degrees could make sense. So, I mean, I could really see it either way. I'm not a huge fan of the triple gable end facade look, but again, if we turn it the other way, then we'd have 3 gable ends facing, you know, the side street. So I think there'd be more disaggregated and spread over a longer facade, so that might make it a little bit more workable. But, you know, I'm curious to hear what my fellow board members feel about that. I could go either way. So those are my only thoughts, really. Otherwise, I support the project.
Thank you, Board Member Walsh. Board Member Kasakian, would you like?
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Chairperson Halajian. I'm in support of the project. I'm sorry you had to go through 4 years of going back and forth, but I'm glad we're here, and I am going to lean towards approving the project. I do concur with my fellow board members as well. In regards to the bay window, I really think it looked really good over there, but I think I am in agreement of like restudying that area. So we can include that as a condition. But overall, I don't have much else I'd like to have. I do agree with Roger's conditions as well. But yeah, I'm in support of the project.
Thank you, Board Member Kasakian. Board Member Lacroft?
I also support the project and moving forward wholeheartedly. And I think that it's such a modest addition that and it's not overly massive, but I do think it needs restudied, as everyone's mentioned. I'd like to keep staff's conditions in terms of restudying the roof. I do think whether it's kept forward or turned, it sounds like everybody has different opinions on it. But you know, I think that leaving it, restudying it with staff would work. But I also agree with my colleagues that the windows at the front need to be. I support having lots of windows at the front, but restudying how those are done, so that it's more consistent with the design of the existing home. So.
Thank you.
If I could add something, I did want to touch on the windows material, because vinyl windows today are generally in a better nick than they used to be, so I wouldn't be opposed to removing that requirement. But I do think, you know, having operation be more in keeping with the style of the house, so casements or hung windows, I think is appropriate.
Thank you, Board Member Lacroft and Board Member Walsh. I was going to touch on that subject. I'm glad you did. I do agree. The quality of vinyl windows have become much better than what it used to be. So, in terms of material, I have no objection of removing that condition. As far as the gable goes, I do like at the front, the main entrance of the house. That kind of makes sense to me. If I was living in this house, I would probably do that. So generally, I'm supportive of the project, and it's a modest addition. And yeah, as far as restudying the windows, generally speaking, restudying the way they're the operations and all that, so they can work it out with the staff. So those are my thoughts, and I don't want to kind of repeat some of the stuff that you guys mentioned. So. Board Member Lacroft, you have one more.
One more comment on the windows. I agree as well that vinyl, there are better options out there. I would just request that it doesn't have divided lights. That's the one downside to vinyl, I think, is the divisions look kind of pasted on typically. So that would be my, but otherwise I support using those windows. with the alteration of, the operation of the windows. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Kiesel, do you have everything that you need? Would you like to repeat?
Sure, actually, I didn't hear any sort of new conditions. The one amended condition is just proposed windows shall be fixed casement or hung configuration, recessed within the facades of the residence. Window proportions shall be restudied. I just omitted the material part of that condition.
That's fine.
Okay.
All the other conditions, I didn't have any changes to, and I didn't hear any additional conditions.
Correct.
Is that?
Yeah, and I think in particular, when you're talking about proportion in the condition, it's really relating to that bay window, the half-round thing on the front. I don't think anyone had any objections, unless I'm mistaken with any other facades.
No,
Okay.
that's the big,
Okay.
big one to address.
So, well, let me ask you a clarification question then. Does it matter whether the windows are vertically oriented as long as they're casement hung or fixed? The front window in the bedroom addition, which is on the opposite side of the front door, are you fine with that proportion? Yes.
Largely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I think one of the other elements that isn't quite working is the arches, the repetitive arches. For me, don't fit in with the
On the bay window.
architecture on the bay window.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone concurs. Okay.
All right. Anything else?
No.
No?
All right.
Should I move to approve the project with the conditions?
And I'll second that.
Okay, and this is a roll call. Board Member Lucker,
Yes.
Board Member Kaskanian,
Yes.
Board Member Welch,
Yes.
Chair Holajian.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes, approved with conditions. May I ask Chair for a brief recess, if probably until 6:46 we can come back?
Sure. Yes.
Thank you.
It's a short recess. Thank you. Okay, we are back with item C. This is the project address, that's 544 Olmsted Drive. Design review case number PDR 005-779-2025. And we will turn to Shohei Premium, the case planner. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Babakhani. Mr. Chair, members of the Design Review Board, and our viewing audience, good evening. Shohei Premian, the case planner for this project. As mentioned, the project address is 544 Olmsted Drive, case number PDR 005-779-2025. I will be making a brief overview presentation of this project, and the one right after that. If the board wishes me to take both cases together, and then we can separate them for, details and conditions and so forth.
Yeah, let's proceed with
Okay, very good, thank you. The subject site is located at the southeast corner of Olmsted Drive and School Street. I have the location map and the aerial view of the subject property. The site is zoned R1, which is single-family residential zone, floor area ratio District 1. The surrounding properties are also zoned R1 with single-family development. Herbert Hoover High School football and baseball field is directly across from the subject site, as you can see on the Google map. Now, in 2025, the city approved an SB9 lot split to divide the lot into two parcels. I have included a brief description about the approval in my staff report and included a copy of the decision letter in your packet. Basically, our state legislators back in 2021 allowed property owners to divide their lots up to two lots and allow construction of 2 units on each lot. So, and I have details of that in the staff report. The project description briefly to demolish existing 1,650 square foot single family house, which was built in 1924, and a detached garage. Construct a new 2-story, 2,208 square foot house with an attached 2-car garage. Current lot size as it exists now, it's 15,015 square feet. Future lot size for this parcel will be 7,376 square feet. And of course, that's pending our Public Works Engineering final map review and LA County recordation. Class 3 exemption under California Environmental Quality Act. And I did put the photo of the existing house as seen from Olmsted Drive and from School Street view. I've included the proposed site plan, which shows the existing driveway location, which will remain in place, leading to the new 2-car garage towards the back of the property. A new 2-story house will be a new 2-story house with an attached garage will be constructed. The project will provide a 25-foot street front setback, an 8-foot 9-inch street side setback from School Street. The first floor plan includes living room, kitchen, and bedroom. The second floor shows 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. A future 800 square foot ADU may be proposed, which is not part of this review. And as you know, ADUs do not require design review. Public Works, Urban Forestry noted that the existing city tree called cinnamon camphor located within the Olmsted Drive Parkway is in fair condition and must be protected. Additionally, they have required the installation of 1 new city street tree called Brisbane box, minimum 24-inch box size. Here are the elevation views of the project. When we look at the top left, which is the north elevation, which shows the entryway to the house, and the proposed west elevation, bottom right, which is the view from School Street. And of course, we have some renderings of the project and the material board. These are all part of your packets as well. You can see from the rendering, front entry area proposes stone finish cladding with a balcony above, while the rest of the house is stucco finish. The roof is proposed to be charcoal color metal roof. Windows are proposed to be aluminum clad. Lighting fixtures are appropriately located throughout the house. Landscape plan is also provided with the application. It's in your packet as well. Staff recommendation, staff recommends approval with conditions. The first 3 conditions, after reviewing the project, we thought perhaps for the project applicant to restudy the west elevation, which is school site elevation, to incorporate a secondary cladding material and/or additional architectural details to enhance visual interest and improve the overall appearance of the facade as viewed from School Street. Number 2, decorative paver material shall be applied to the entire driveway. The proposal is to keep the existing driveway as is for the front portion of the driveway, but provide decorative pavers towards the back of the driveway. And third, mechanical equipment, including air conditioning units, utility meters, shall be relocated away from the street facade from school side view. And the last 2 conditions, they're more reminder conditions, is to make sure SB9 lot split final parcel map is recorded with the County of Los Angeles prior to issuance of any building permit, and the project shall comply with all applicable departmental comments, including those provided by Public Works, Urban Forestry, dated December 11, 2025. For the record, property owners and occupants within the 500-foot radius were notified. Staff received 1 email regarding both of the projects, and I have provided a copy for your information. This concludes my presentation for this part of the project. We have the project architect, Alan Melikian, present. If I may, Mr. Chair, I can go to the second
Yes, please.
presentation. Yes.
Let me just read it. So we're moving to item D at this time. It's 1352 School Street. This is the address of the project. And the design review case number is PDR 006236-2025. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of the board, I will continue my presentation with the second project. I will just skip the first few slides. Basically, we're looking at the project that's going to sit on the second parcel, south side of the project site. This particular project is to construct new 2,289 square foot, 2-story house with an attached 2-car garage on a vacant lot. So this portion of the property is vacant at this point. Same zoning, and the future lot size is proposed 7,376. Again, pending Public Works Engineering final map approval and LA County recordation. Same Class 3 CEQA exemption applies for this project as well. The proposed site plan for this second house, the driveway is accessed from School Street. Again, 2-car garage. The project meets the front setback of 25 feet. The rear setback to the right and to the south is 6 feet, while providing more setback towards the north of the property, towards the north of the building. And then proposed floor plans, we have the first floor, which includes living room, dining room, kitchen, and a bedroom. The second floor includes 3 bedrooms and a balcony that faces School Street and wraps around the side of the house. And again, here are the elevation plans. The east elevation is the rear elevation here, and we have the south and north elevations as depicted on plans. Again, for both of these projects, I forgot to mention that the project proposes trellis above the garage areas on both of those projects. And for this project, the staff recommends that, again, these are recommendations. The balcony railing facing west shall be extended around the second floor to help break up the solid massing of the facade at the front entry. Restudy the trellis above the garage to avoid potential privacy impacts on neighboring properties. We were particularly concerned about the trellis above the garage because it's the garage and the house 6 feet away from the back property line. And then again, the last 2 conditions, similar to the first project, basically SB9 lot split shall be recorded before any building permits being issued, and then making sure the project complies with all departmental comments. So that concludes my presentation. The applicant, again, also has a presentation, or we can take comments or review each project separately.
Sure. Let's start with the question to the staff for 544 Olmsted Drive. Any questions to the staff regarding that property address? About questions for 1352 School Street,
Yes.
please.
Can you clarify the setbacks for this project? Are they based on the setbacks as they were for the pre-existing double-sized lot? Because it looks like the rear setback here is 6 feet, and I think that's unusual.
Correct. Mr. Chair, members of the board, the lot frontage is from School Street. School Street is the lot frontage. Interior setbacks are from the north to the east and to the south, which R1 zoning requires a minimum of 6 feet.
Even on the rear setbacks?
Yes, all 3 sides. Correct.
Okay.
So this project is designed basically parallel to School Street view.
Okay.
Any additional questions? No? Okay. Well, thank you. Now I would like to invite the architect, Alan Malikian.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Alan Malikian. I'm the project architect. My office is located at 2255 Honolulu Avenue, Montrose, California. Thank you, Shoaib, for the presentation and explanation for the both projects. I have a slideshow prepared, which is a combination of addressing, just emphasizing certain things that we've done throughout the year after we got the approval for the SB9, as well as addressing some conditions that we received from staff, as well as the letter that we received from the neighbor. So I try to address most of these conditions that was placed, plus explain some of the project key points. So next slide, please. So as Shoaib explained, and you know, the property is located, and it's a split of a existing lot, which is corner of School Street and Olmsted, across from my alma mater, which is kind of exciting to see this. One of the things that I wanted to emphasize, and that kind of reflects back on the comments that the neighbor had made, as you can see the wall along School Street, it is a similar wall that is on the east property line. Right now, it's in a dilapidated condition. It's falling off. To maintain that, it's going to be extremely difficult to maintain the same condition. So our proposal is to remove that. Now, we can circle back to that to go back to the neighbor's request, privacy and wall and all that. But that's the plan. And one of the things that I've done is I've included an updated landscape plan here is that to replace the Italian cypresses that is there, which is also exists along the east property line. They're matured about 40 feet tall. They're going to be replaced with ficus trees to provide privacy that most of the street is being used by students and kids hanging out. And so privacy becomes a factor there. And it's important to keep that in mind because one of the staff's conditions for the 544 to hide away or remove or relocate the AC units that is facing street, which it will be essentially protected. The reason that we moved that, we placed it there is because of it's the furthest point away from the bedrooms. So if I move that around, we can locate that under the stairs right next to the garage. So we've located, we will propose that if we need to remove and relocate that. Next slide, please. So as Sholik mentioned, it's right on the corner. Next slide. So this gives you a perspective and the proportion of the two homes placed at that lot. And essentially, the 25-foot setback dictates where both buildings locate. So 544 Olmsted, facing Olmsted, requires a 25-foot setback, which dictates the location of the building where it is. And the 1352 School Street, now it's facing School Street, becomes the front street, so there's therefore the 25-foot setback. The opening between the two, the large grass area that we're showing there is that it's a potentially future ADU locations. Next slide. This gives you a pretty good idea as far as what the existing survey is. It's a larger, and you can kind of see the trees along the School Street, which we're going to remove and replace them with ficus trees to bring that privacy back, because we're worried that, again, kids, as they hang out over there during the recess time, they're going to start walking, wandering under the front yard. So the same kind of a aesthetic that is currently exists will most likely remain as it is, but shorter in tree sizes. Next. So that's the proportion of the two homes and the scale, which we call Lot 1 and Lot 2, or Lot A and Lot B. Next. So this is the revised landscape plan that you will see along the street. We're maintaining some of the palm trees there, but we're replacing all the trees with ficus trees. And next. And this is the continuation of that. And the only openings we have is the driveway and then opening for the walkway that is coming in. Next. This is a perspective of putting both homes together as far as getting the view of how this is going to look. Next. So on these, and we'll talk about the two conditions for each one, and I've tried to re-render and model the two conditions, which is the addressing the west elevation of 544 to carry the material, or the facade to carry the material. That rendering has it, and we'll look at it in another view. And the next one is the extension of the balcony connecting to the balcony over the garage, so extending that over. Next meeting. So this is the existing rendering that we submitted. You have it in your package. Next one. And this is the corner, which is essentially what we have is that we have it stopping at the corner, and the back area becomes the stucco or plastered. Whereas if we do continue the stone, we would step it down to the balcony height and then carry that over, wrap that around about 5 feet, because of the potentially in the future ADU comes and it'll block, and there's no point for us to continue the material. It's just going to be But again, remember the ficus trees are going to go in the front, so on the side will be somewhat covered and protected. Next. On the 1352, these are the two different renderings. The one to the left is the original, the one that has been submitted, which is the partial balcony over the bedroom, and then the step back for the deck over the garage. And then the right side is what staff had recommended to carry that over to connect to the garage. So those are the two separate renderings that we've done. Next, please. And this is, again, a more different perspective. Next. And I think that's it, right? Yeah, I think that's it, right? Okay. Thank you. So, going down the list of the conditions, obviously you saw that on the 544 Olmsted, wrapping the material around the west elevation, you saw the sample and how it would look. Decorative papers, we have no issue with that. We'll extend that. Mechanical equipment, again, if you look at the site plan, you'll see that there's a set of stairs that come out from the house and it step up to the deck area. Right under that would be where the AC units will be placed. And next to that will be the trash enclosure, so will be placed. It's away from, it's further lower, much lower than the bedroom, so we feel that it'll be fine. SB9 process it's ongoing, as well as all dealing with all the different departments at this moment. So we have gone through that portion. The next one, the balcony you saw. So and the potentially the privacy. I want to address the email that we received, the letter that we received from the neighbor. So one of the things that they're in agreement with us that moving the building forward, they're fine with, but as far as the gate, they asked us to set the gate back so that it would not pass their house, which we agree on that. We will definitely do that. As far as there's some concerns about the power lines and easements. The power line is actually on the southwest corner or closer to the west corner. Right now, we're discussing with the Water and Power, they've agreed on that, or electrical. There's going to be connection from there to the first house, which is, or the lower house, lot B. And then we would have an easement along School Street to connect to the front, not on the east side, but on the west side.
If you have 30 more seconds, if you
30 more
wanna,
seconds,
yeah,
okay.
wrap it up.
One of the main concerns about the privacy, he had no issues with the privacy as far as balcony. He actually had a concern about the shadow of the building. Right now, the cypress trees that are there, they're 40-foot tall. We can maintain that, or we can remove it. The house is much, much lower. It's going to have a lot less shadowing of that. Any questions? So.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the presentation and the detailed explanation. Questions to the architect? Would you like to start?
By the way, I was just dealing with two homes, two projects at the same time. So.
We'll give you enough time to
Yeah,
explain.
okay.
Yep.
I appreciate also these presentations of your ideas on how to address the conditions, and just wanted to get your thoughts, for instance, on this particular condition. And it seems like you have come to a good solution here, and I just wanted to get your
I usually
feedback.
tend to like my first approach, but
Yeah.
I guess the second approach is an effort that I want to put in to address the best way I can to address, which I appreciate everybody. There's a lot of eyes on this, a lot of people review, a lot of opinions. You know, it just had to make a decision. So I brought both of them in. I prefer the original design, but if we need to continue with the second design, which is fine with me.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I interject? I think for the School Street project, number one condition, having the balcony railing facing west shall be extended. I think it was not the intention to have this. It was more continuing the existing balcony railing to go over the entry area to continue, because the concern was more the entry wall section of the house. So perhaps it was not clear, but restudy, the balcony railing facing west shall be extended around the second floor to help break up the solid massing of the facade at the front entry.
Okay.
So the railing to be continued on over the entry area rather than going the other direction.
I guess that's.
That was the intent.
That's a disclaimer, I guess I have to say, because we just got these conditions like literally last week, and I didn't even have a chance to talk to her. So we just came up with, I figured that is the case. I didn't think that we were gonna change the massing over the entrance. That's the last thing I was thinking about, but.
Okay.
Of course, it's up to the board as to
Sure.
which way you would like to proceed.
Yeah, thank you for the interjection and additional questions to that.
Yeah, so, Mr. Milliken, did you, on the Olmsted one, I see what you did with the extending the veneer across the west facade, but did you consider other options for how to break up that facade? Like, for example, adding some additional windows, perhaps, or?
Honestly, I think on that facade, to be honest with you, for me, less is more. I mean, I can see how we can, I mean, the back end is garage. So adding windows in a garage that is facing, a side street that is facing, really, it's, just, it really doesn't do anything for me. And I think the proportions of the window, the placement, and the two windows that you have, the one in the brick, the left side, and the one on the opposite end, or the two end in the living room. So I guess we can combine them into one large one, but again, it eats up some, interior footprint, which, reflecting the exterior. For me, I like the way the shapes, the vertical lines and everything, so I didn't think adding windows was gonna be addressing what staff condition was, but again, I'm happy to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
Question, I have one, I believe I saw a condition for 1352 School Street that the trellis on the staff is recommending to removal of that.
I don't think they're, are you?
Staff suggesting to restudy, perhaps some kind of a visual buffer on that side, but if there's landscaping, that may be enough. But basically to restudy, our concern was the
Privacy
garage, the house is too close to the property line and adjacent neighbors, so
Okay.
that was the concern.
In the past, what we've done is we've extended the parapet wall to be about a 5.5, 6 foot tall, to be able to have like that wall facing. But again, you have that solid wall, which blocks the view, and they're not going to be able to get light going in, and so.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You raise it, now you have a different problem with the, so. Okay, so we'll discuss that here shortly. I'm curious about the ficus tree. Why specifically ficus tree? Because they have very aggressive roots, and.
So that's one of the recommendations that we just had. Again, we had only like almost a half a day to discuss this with options with landscape architect. So the idea was to get it as dense as possible, to act as a fence, not a physical fence. We don't want to put a fence there, because then if I put a fence there, we can't do what's there now, because right now the wall goes from the side all the way down, because it's considered as a side street, side yard, right? If I get up to the school street, then I have to cut that. So it's just a freestanding wall, half of the length, because it's blocking Olmsted, and the rest, it'll be a front yard. I can't have that.
Sure.
So continuing the same kind of a vegetation to give you the privacy, so that people won't walk through, if you have any suggestions, by all means.
I may have some suggestions. I'm just saying because whoever the homeowner ends up being, they're gonna these aggressive routes, they're gonna ruin the sidewalks and then the front yard or the driveway. So just to recommend.
I'm not the
strong
landscape
recommendation.
architect, so
Yeah.
by all means,
Yeah.
suggest it. I'll pass it along. We'll definitely exercise.
Okay.
Yeah.
You will receive, you will get the same privacy, you get the design intent, you just, yeah, more practical. Any other questions? Okay. All right, so you presented, you had 2 cards filled out, one for
Well, I
each
have 2
project.
projects, 2 applicants, so that's why I was saying,
Yeah,
I'm presenting both projects at the same
And
time,
then that's
so.
fine, and I appreciate you doing that, so thank you. I don't have any additional questions, I'm gonna ask for the next person to
Absolutely.
Ryan, Ratcliffe, I'm sorry. I know the ink ran out at the end. So if you can please state your name and,
My name is Ryan Ratcliffe. I live at 549 Spencer Street. I am the other neighbor, I guess, to the south of the property for School Street. So we know everything about this area because when we open our sliding door, we're looking right at it. We're actually looking up at the flags right now. So on the site plan, I don't know if it was calculated out this way, if it should, because it shows kind of the outlines of the neighboring structures. I don't know if it's the structure of my building or actually my porch. I think it's the actual building, not the porch, because the way my ADU is designed, that's what we live in. It's facing to the north, which is the proposed location. It is about, from a tape measure, because I'm right there, it's a tape measure of 8 feet to the proposed structure, and then from that to my structure is another 12 feet. So I'm about 20 feet away from it. So if people are standing in that backyard, I can hear them through our only real, which is our front door, basically, looking out this way. So there's a couple concerns with debris, sound, privacy. The balcony proposal is above us, and we're on a 2nd story. And so it's even still higher than us. I think the grade is around at least a 2-3% slope. I don't know how it continues on into the other property, but it is something that we'll have to look up at. So right now I have a Chinese elm that gives us a little bit of protection. I don't know what that's going to look like in the winter. And then, yeah, that's basically my concern. This is actually the first time I'm able to see this. So it's all brand new to me. I didn't have any questions or concerns about Olmsted, but that's where the only information I could find. I didn't see the other board, which I imagine is on School Street. I actually didn't expect there to be an entrance on School Street because it's a one-way street that the kids from the school use. I can talk on the Cypress note because it will impact us because our property is a little strange. We're at a diagonal. We have a 2-lot that's been conjoined. Both parcels have been, we were forced to join them when we did our ADU. So it's kind of strange, but all that light, all that sound carries from school activities and from all the activity. The activity lasts long into the night, and I would suggest if they are planning to do the driveway and the gate towards from School Street to probably do some security because there are a lot of kids all the way up until 1 or 2 a.m. that congregate there. We're often having to call the cops because it just gets too loud and, So that's a separate issue, but our biggest concern really, again, is privacy and how close it's coming and how high it goes, at least on the balcony structure. The baseball field. So the cypress tree is also.
I'm just going to give 30 more seconds because the time expired, but
No
please finish
problem. Yeah. The baseball field, as far as lights and sound. Yeah, so that's a different thing. So I would say on the cypress nodes, it will protect the new construction greatly from all the baseballs that plummet the property is. So just take that into consideration when you're doing FICAs. I have FICAs, but
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, we have one caller on the line.
Yes, please, let's go.
Barry, you're on the line. Can you hear us? Barry? Barry? Barry, can you hear us?
Mary, you're with Design Review Board. Can you hear us?
Here? Barry, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. Go ahead, you're with Design Review Board.
Yeah, thank you. This is Barry Daniel. I'm the neighbor to the east. I'm the one that sent the email. Thank the developer for covering most of my issues. I'll just run through them real quick. He said if they do put in a front gate, it would be offset. I really have no problems with 544 Olmsted moving forward 25 feet. I understand the reason there because you want to make room for an ADU in the future. He covered the splitting of the property, and the utility lines won't be pulled directly down my property line, but rather on School Street. And I'll leave that to the city. I was just surprised not to see them in the plans. The cypress. I thought they'd be going away personally, but I like that they're staying for privacy and noise reduction during construction. If they want to, I just figured it was the right time to pull them out if you were replacing the driveway because of the root system. So for clarification, what I heard is the cypress trees between my property and the new ones are staying as, and the only ones that would be replaced would be on the west side of School Street. That leads me into the other part of my tree issue is I have two. This is probably my biggest one of my two biggest concerns is I have 2 100-year-old avocado trees. They're located approximately 8 feet from the property line next to these, and I just want to make sure that any root digging is minimal in those areas. It's right where the curve of the 544 Olmsted is, and it's right in the middle of the School Street property. I'll get into that one. So we talked about explaining why they're doing the retaining walls. So let me get into, I have personally no problems with the 544 Olmsted. The plans as is, I think they're great. Go for it. And we'll deal with the ADU when that comes. That I was just thinking, if you center it in your property and it's only one story, it's not going to be an issue. Now, the back house, yes, it's huge. It's humongous, and it's 6 feet from my property. Basically, my take is there shouldn't have to be a 25-foot offset here. There are no neighbors to the School Street side. This will be the only house pointing to School Street. And yes, School Street's the front, but that makes the total depth of this property 65 feet. If you go look down Olmsted, there's another house that's kind of short, or the property's short. It only has a 15-foot offset. Why can't we push that 25-foot requirement out at least to 15? That would center the house as is. Plus, if you moved it to the north a little bit, it would take care of Ryan's issues too.
Yeah, if you can please wrap it up because the time is up. I'll allow a few more seconds here.
No, I've covered everything. I think you should change the offset requirements. And I will probably, should I talk to the tree guy to put a note in there about my root system?
I think you can ask the staff and they can direct you to the right department and individual. So,
well, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barry.
Okay.
That was the only caller.
All right. The architect, would you like to come back and rebuttal some of the concerns that got raised?
Sure. I'll try to do my best. I appreciate all the comments and notes that I have taken.
If you can state your name one more time.
My name is Alan Malikian. I'm the project architect. So as far as the setback at the rear to the adjacent property or the rear property, the closest portion of the structures that are coming in a diagonal. They are placed parallel to School Street. So they're at a point, that point is at 6 feet. So it's actually stepping away, is getting further away from the property line. We do have, and we can maintain as much trees as we want for privacy along there. We are currently proposing them, but if they need to be taller and more dense, we can. One clarification, neighbors, it was a suggestion that if the privacy is an issue, we can keep what's there. I wasn't planning to, and we can maintain the existing trees that were there. The plan was to put in new trees, lower, bring more light to the, everything else. But if we need to maintain whatever is there and add more to it to allow the privacy, then that's fine. As far as the roots of the tree next door, we can just make sure the developer is aware of the concern. I don't know how much of that we can control, but we can do the best. The best I can do is pass along the neighbor's concern for that and do our best. It's not a protected tree, but we understand and appreciate.
Yeah, 100-year-old tree, avocado tree is it's something
course.
to cherish, right?
Of course.
So, I mean, the best thing I would suggest is communication and
Of course.
be good neighbors. So,
Of course.
So, any additional questions?
Not at this time.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, I will close the public hearing portion for this 2 items and move for deliberation. Board Member Castellan, would you like to start?
Yep. How do we do this now? Are we gonna go with approving or going with the first one, or are we doing it as a whole?
Well, let's start with Olmsted first.
Okay.
That way we can go over the conditions and then move on to the second School Street.
Okay. In regards to the Olmsted one, thank you, Mr. Chair. In regards to the Olmsted Drive one, overall, I think, I could say for both, I think both properties have done a great job with the design. I think it's pretty modern, a modern look for the area. It's definitely going to be a nice little boost. I do, I understand some of the concerns in regards to the neighbors, but overall, I think that the architect has done a pretty good job with, articulating all the points, and I think the architectural concept has been was pretty good. Overall, I'm in support of the project. I actually really like the design. I think they've done a great job.
Thank you, Board Member. Board Member Lackroff?
I agree. I'm actually very excited to see an SB9 project done so well, and it's very well balanced and articulated and creative. And I think that it's going to be a nice addition to the neighborhood. I know there are privacy concerns, and I appreciate that you seem so willing to work with your neighbors to address those concerns and with the trees and I think and also to work with staff's conditions that they brought forward. I would say regarding the project at hand on Olmsted, I do like the continuation of the material along the others onto School Street, and I like how it's done so that the top volume actually looks kind of like a floating little house up there, and I think it's nicely broken up with that. And an improvement on the other project. I know I'm flip-flopping here a little bit, but I don't think that continuing the eave all the way across is a right solution, nor was it, I think, your intention. So, so sticking to Olmsted. Let's see. So yes, I agree with how the applicant has addressed that condition, and I overall support the project and would recommend it be move forward with the conditions staff has provided. And yeah, that's it, I think, for this project. Thank you.
Board Member Welsh, Olmsted project?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the Olmsted project. Okay, I really like the design here. I think it's a very nice design. I particularly like the sort of juxtaposition that's done between this one and the school one. They're similar yet different, timeless design. I think it's very well done. I beg to differ about the cladding across the western facade. I don't like it as much. I would have preferred to see some other solution to that, maybe adding some railings on the balcony, on the deck above the garage, perhaps, to help break that up, windows in the garage. I don't think you need to change the windows in the house itself, but, I think that the back wall of the garage is really the biggest obstacle there. And so, a few different things to try in terms of trying to break that up a little bit. Otherwise, I think that the design is very nicely done. The material choices are very nice. I would also like to recommend we eliminate any lights that are not at entries. I continue to see lights being positioned on places on the facade. They should only be at entry points to the home. But aside from that, I think that it's fine. I'd be happy to move it forward.
Thank you, Board Member Rush. Again, my thoughts on the Olmsted project. I do like the design. I do agree with the staff's recommendations. And I agree with Board Member Welsh. I think combination of window in the garage and railing, I think that will break up that mess perfectly, and it will balance it out rather than, spending extra material on facade and yeah, that would be my recommendation or consideration. And those are my thoughts on the Olmsted. So, Mr. Amram, do you have everything for the Olmsted conditions? Or do we need to
Well, I
review?
heard in terms of liking this version that was presented today, or some, so I need more clear
I'm
direction.
flexible on it. I think windows would work as well. So I think both directions would be
Introducing
good.
windows?
Introducing windows at the
Introducing
garage, I think would help to.
New
is that-
windows.
Yeah. I'm comfortable with
something
both.
like
Honestly, both look lovely
A
to me.
window,
so.
a little interstitial balcony,
Okay.
railing in the balcony thing instead of pure parapet all the way across, something like that.
Okay, we can work with the applicant on some of the details. And then in terms of decorative paver materials and the rest of the conditions, you would like to keep
We would
those
like to keep-
conditions?
We would like to keep, and the applicant seems to be willing to work with
Okay.
those conditions. So.
What about any landscaping revisions?
I would consider, I would ask the architect or landscape architect in this case, some privacy hedging, and I was quickly typing here. Carolina cherry laurel hedges, they'll give you the density that you need and the privacy that you're looking for instead of the ficus. Again, if you want to use ficus, by all means, I have no, but it's just the maintenance of it is very painful.
And I would not object to just keeping the cypress,
or that.
The cypress
Absolutely.
works, you can maybe cut it down a little bit if it's too tall, but I think it's a very good privacy screen, especially if you do top it, it gets thicker,
Absolutely.
Especially with the baseball comments too, you gotta protect.
True.
Yep. So
Okay,
now
that's clear.
that's Olmsted.
That's clear.
I would like to open the rebuttal session for School Street. So Board Member Welsh, why don't you want to lead on this one?
Okay, sure. Okay, can we put up the renderings for the School Street one? Okay. As I said earlier, I quite love the design. I think it's very, very well done. There's a timelessness to it, an elegance to it that I really appreciate. I love the corner window detailings that are done, that are on the front and then echoed on the rear, the simplicity of the structure, the standing seam roof. I like all of that. And I do like that front mass. I know typically we say, oh, it's bulky, it's massive, but it works very well in this case. I do not think that massing is excessive in that entry block there. I think as an architectural feature, it works actually very well, and I would not like to see any railings put on that. I think it actually works as is. I'm on the original versus the slightly altered rendering. I think I'm kind of also leaning more towards the original versus the one with the extended railing across the garage. I think the original works better. I think that it is generally a more coherent design, and I think it just works better. It is an unusual property because of the nature of how this subdivision was done. The necessity to have the street front setback on the side street in the narrowest portion of the lot means you're forced to push this property right up against the back. And, you know, while the caller asked, oh, just change it to 15 feet. Well, that's not within our jurisdiction. I'm sorry to say, the city's zoning laws are the city's zoning laws, and we don't have the ability to do that. The applicant would actually have to apply for a variance in order to do that, and I think that that's a very cumbersome process here. So I think they're working well with what they've got to work with. And like with the other one, I would suggest that, you know, keeping the cypress. I think it works. You could just carve out your area for the driveways and access ways, and that would give you a very big barrier to start with. I appreciate that you didn't do a full width driveway, that you're doing just a single car width, you know, so that helps keep the size of the garage a little bit screened. And let me see if I have anything else that I had. Okay, the one question I did have was about, in the original design, the brick veneer was also on the main front facade as well as on that balcony. And I wasn't sure about how people felt about that, whether it was necessary to be on the balcony. That was the only little niggling thing that I was wondering what people felt about that. But by and large, love the design, support the project. So that's it.
Thank you, Board Member Welsh. Board Member Lackroff?
I concur. I love this one as well. I'm super excited to see it happen. And yeah, I think that it makes sense that the trees remain. I think that's a good point. I think I don't know if we want to leave it open to the applicant to do that or work with the landscaper designer to come up with something like the tree that you mentioned that's not invasive in terms of its root system. But yeah, I'd be happy with either option. But yeah, I like the original design on this a lot more. I think it's very well balanced as is in terms of that overhang continuation. And I think the other item then up for discussion is the trellis too. And I understand privacy concerns, and I also understand the need for having open space for the owners. So, yeah, I would love to hear what my colleagues think about the trellis. I think that was the other item not addressed on this one. So,
Thank you, Board Member Lackroff. Board Member Saki?
Yes. Overall, I support this design too, Alan. I think you do a great job with a lot of your projects, so I appreciate the work that you've put here. So overall, I don't have any concerns. I think you've done a great job. I'm okay with the original design as well, moving forward with that. Yeah, I don't know, in regards to the trellis, I'm not too sure yet about that one.
Sure, we can continue rebuttal that one. Thank you, Board Member Kaskanian. And I apologize, I misspoke your name.
It's okay.
Earlier.
Get it all the time.
So I do love the design. I do agree with my colleague, Board Member Welsh here, the front element, the parapet that you're proposing. I think it's lovely. It's a beautiful design, and I do love the original design more in relation or in comparison with the revised design. So. So I would vote on the original design if I had to pick between the two, which I think that's what we're doing here. So, yeah, I do like the revised landscaping on the revised one. It's more vibrant, obviously, but I think overall the house design is very lovely and very well balanced. Regarding setbacks, again, as Board Member Welsh, I'm going to echo his words. It's not in our purview. It's set by the planning, and we have no preview on that. I would just recommend continue your direct communication with your neighbors. I'm sure you want to be good neighbors, and communication is key, and addressing their privacy concerns or their 100-year-old avocado trees can be solved through communication and care. So those are my thoughts regarding. Can we look at the slide with the conditions or recommended conditions by the staff regarding the trellis?
For the school street?
For the school street, yes.
Sorry.
So going through these conditions, and I would like to ask my board members or my colleagues here to help. So balcony railing, we are eliminating that one. Is that
I would
correct?
agree, yes.
Yes. So restudy the trellis. So that's the open item still. SB9 and the project shall comply with applicable. Okay. So really, is the item number 2 that we need to address here?
I'm okay with the trellis. I think
I don't mind it.
there's an echo between the front house and the back house there. I think that it is, a restricted lot. There's like no backyard. You have 2 side yards and the roof deck. And so I think that's, allowing them to be able to put something there. Hopefully they grow vines on it or something like that, so it becomes a more green place as opposed to just, shade canvas or something. But I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, I agree.
Any thoughts?
I'm okay with removing it.
Yeah, I think.
Are there going to be any privacy trees along on the east? Is it east? I'm sorry. North. Can we go to the site plan, please? I'm losing my bearing.
Well,
Yeah, the east side of the lot, in
East side
particular
of-
behind where the
behind
garage will be.
Yeah.
I need to go to your presentation.
Yes.
Yeah, right there, yeah.
So, yeah, on the east elevation, are there going to be any privacy hedges?
I remember the proposal was honeysuckle ivies, if I'm not mistaken.
The
instead
ivies
of
on the
trees.
trellis, correct?
No, on the wall
On the wall, okay.
side.
What are the board's thought on putting some privacy trees there, or hedges?
Maybe, how about not an actual condition, but leave it open and,
Consideration.
consideration, because I'm not, I'm on the fence about it, literally, so I think that's, I'd be open to a condition on it, and
Yeah.
if it,
Yeah, especially if there are other trees that are impacting the neighbor's tree. And I keep referring to that avocado 100-year-old, so it may
Right.
not be the right call to have some trees. So we'll include some consideration for privacy, and then if IV is the right call, or even the hedge, or even the trellis having some vegetation on it, that would be,
right, it could
it could be.
have a vertical.
All right, so we'll make that as a consideration.
So consideration either to plant additional landscaping along that side or on the above, on the trellis side.
Sit itself.
Yeah.
But not to continue a wall up, for instance.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's the big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair, and we will be working with the applicant on some of those revisions.
Okay, so we're going to have 2 roll calls for 2
Sure.
Well, I think we have to do the first motions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do with the motion first. This is for 544 Olmsted Drive.
Okay, so I'll move that we approve the project with the conditions that were discussed during those deliberations.
I second that motion.
Thank you. And this is a roll call. Board Member Koskanian,
Yes.
Board Member Lakarev,
Yes.
Board Member Welch,
Yes.
Chair Halajian.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Approved with conditions. And now moving to 1352 School Street. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve with the conditions that you all have put forward. Actually, School Street, there were no alterations, correct, on that one?
No, we
This is
removed the two.
consideration.
We removed the, yeah,
1 and
correct.
2,
Correct.
we left 3 and 4, and then added the consideration.
Correct, thank you.
Condition was removed. and
Two
it gets
conditions
to
were
two
removed,
conditions.
the first two, and then three.
Right.
Right, can you repeat those conditions? That would be really helpful.
Okay, I will repeat it. Thank you.
So for the School Street project, we talked about revising the landscaping to include more landscaping buffer towards the east side, or have landscaping buffer perhaps on the trellis above the garage, which is a consideration, I believe,
Right.
correct? And then keep condition 3 and 4 from the list.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
So
I
we-
move to approve the conditions just stated.
Thank you, that's the motion, and seconded?
Second.
Thank you so much. So we have a motion to approve with condition and a consideration. Board Member Kaskanian,
Yes.
Board Member Welch,
Yes.
Board Member Lakarif,
Yes.
and Chair Halajian.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Good luck. One more. Last one.
Last but not least.
Thank you.
See you next time.
So we are moving to, let me see if I can remove this. This is going to be the last item, item E, 1216 Spacer Avenue, design review case number PDR 006085-2025. Allow me 1 second. Okay. So this project has a regular shape, size lot and shape lot of 7,219 square feet in area. It is an interior lot. It is located in R1, District 1 zone. The lot is developed with an existing 1,462 square foot, one-story house, and also a detached three-car garage with an existing ADU above the garage. The garage has vehicular access from the rear alley, and there is no change to the existing garage and ADU for this project. The project is proposing to add a new 543 square foot second-story addition, including 2 bedroom suites towards the rear of the existing one-story house. For the record, the project will remove an approximately 44% of the existing roofs and exterior walls area. This slide shows the existing condition of the house, looking rear of the house in picture number 2, and also the existing garage and ADU above the garage. And here the house is shown on the site layout in relation to the 2 adjacent neighboring one-story house to the north and 2-story house to the south. And you can see the relation of the windows in the neighboring properties on this slide. In terms of the site planning, the project does not alter the site planning as the proposed 543 square foot second-story addition will be added to the existing single-family residence without altering the existing site planning. There will be no change to the existing street front or interior setbacks. The addition meets the minimum required interior setbacks. This project does not also alter the existing landscaping. This slide shows the existing roof plan and also the proposed roof plan. The highlighted area on the first floor roof plan will be removed and will be replaced with new roof as you see on this slide. The proposed roof consists of hipped roofs with 4 feet and 12 feet pitch, and which is similar to the existing roof forms. Sorry, this slide is this is the proposed floor plan for the second floor. There is no proposed change to the existing first floor plan. For the mass and scale of this project, staff believes that this proposed 543 square foot second-story addition is appropriately proportioned, integrated well into the existing design, and relates to the neighborhood context consists of primarily one-story homes, and the proposed second-story addition is located toward the rear of the house, and that's why it's appropriately set back. That's why it's consistent with the neighborhood pattern. The addition has the approximately 47 feet distance from the street front property line and about like 23 feet distance from the building frontage facing street. This helps the second-story addition appear compatible with the one-story homes in the neighborhood, particularly within 300 linear feet of the subject property. And on this slide, we have the colored elevations and 3D renderings. The overall height of the house will increase from the existing 16 feet to 24 feet and 2 inches. The maximum height limit in the zone for the homes with pitched roof is 28 feet. And we have more renderings in different views on this slide. The proposed second-story addition will not create privacy conflicts with surrounding neighbors, as no second-floor public rooms are proposed, and the new rear balcony, which is around like 130 square feet, is adequately distanced from the neighboring one-story home to the north and also from the two-story homes to the south. In addition, the designer provides a privacy wall which is proposed on the north side of the balcony to block views. The materials and colors and design and detailing of the addition include stucco finish, composition, shingle roofing, and aluminum windows, which are consistent throughout and reinforce the existing design concept. The design and detailing appear appropriate to the existing house and neighborhood context. The new aluminum windows will be recessed within the exterior walls and feature exterior wood trim with a combination of horizontal sliding and hung windows. The proposed plan indicates the appropriate location and design of new downspouts and also exterior light fixture. Staff recommends approval for this application, for this design review application with no condition. And I would like to mention that the staff did not receive any public comments for this design review case. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions to the staff? No questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one speaker card, Marty Karatunyan. If you can please state your name for the record.
Good evening. My name is Marty Gartunian. Thank you, board, for taking time to review the project. Thank you, Eileen, for presentation. So we do this addition because the owner wants to expand the family and they need more space. And we didn't do on the first floor because they use the backyard all the time. So we chose with the owner to went to we add on second floor. I mean, just simple 2 master bedroom on second floor, and we kept the first floor the same. They have a lot of good memories with that house, and they want to keep the same layout. So kept same layout on the first floor. The site plan is same, and exterior simple. On the first floor, we kept the stucco, the existing stucco. Second floor matched to the first floor stucco again, simple and like light beige color. And the roof is heat-proof. It's matched to 80% of the neighborhood houses. Heat-proof.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions to the applicant? Please go ahead.
So, Mr. Ernst, a couple of questions. In one of the plans, I saw an AC unit on the roof. Are you intending to put an AC unit on the roof?
No, we already moved it on the first.
Okay,
one,
good.
yeah, on
Okay,
the
I
back,
just wanted to
yeah.
get a clarification on that one. And then it's a slightly strange design that you have to go outdoors, up the stairs to get to the bedrooms.
Mhm.
That clearly was an intentional choice. Can you elaborate on why you did that?
This is the District 1 zone, and this 30% floor area ratio. So after calculation, we have the 543 square feet to add to this house. So if we go with the surrounding wall or in the building, we have to count as a floor area the staircase. So, and it's twice. We have to count it as twice. So it's almost 80 square feet. So it's going to be 160. 160 minus 543 is going to be almost 380. So it doesn't make to add a
bedroom you could get in
yeah.
there, right?
So
okay.
The code section, chapter 3070, the staircase without the surrounding wall, it doesn't count as a floor area. So we go that way.
Okay. All right. It's a compromise.
And clarification to staff that that's okay in the city of Glendale to not have an enclosed, for an addition.
For the zoning and planning requirement, there is no such a requirement. However, I cannot speak for building and safety
That would
requirement.
be my one caution. Yeah, I'm not.
We've seen it before.
Have you?
We've seen
Okay,
it before.
okay, it's different in other jurisdictions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
No questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have callers?
I can check that very quick. We do not have any caller.
Well, we'll move with closing the public hearing portions and deliberation. Any, would you like to start, Board Member Lackroff?
Oh, sure. I feel this project's very modest in size, and I appreciate that it's set back so far from the front. It really does bring down the scale of the home. So overall, I support the project, and yeah, with moving forward. I don't really have any other conditions that I want to apply, and open to hearing what my fellow board members think. So, thank you.
Board Member Welsh?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One of the things I appreciate about it is it resolves the weird gable that sits above the left-hand side of the front of the house. It just kind of was floating out there when I did my site visit, and I was like, I'm glad this is being resolved. So I appreciate that. I agree, it's a modest design, it's well set back. I really, the AC on the roof was something I was questioning, but it seems that that's been resolved. The only thing that I would potentially think about is the one section of the upper left-hand side of that second floor. Is like a closet and a bathroom back there. You could put a couple of smaller windows in there that might help balance that. But, again, I don't feel strongly about it, but it's something I just throw out there as something I was thinking about when I looked at it. But otherwise, I have no real objections to it, and I think it's fine, and I would support it.
Board Member.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, overall, I'm in support of the project. Yeah, I think that you've done a great job with it. And yeah, there's not that much as far as like design goes, but I appreciate the work that was done. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I do also support the project, modest improvement or addition to the existing house, and I think we deliberated it perfectly here, so I have nothing to add. Would you like to make that as a consideration, the windows? Board
Yeah,
member?
sure, we could throw it in as just as a consideration.
Sure. I'm perfectly okay with
May I
that.
ask for clarification on which part of the second floor we want to see those
It would be
smaller
the
windows?
furthest left part of the second floor where there's a blank wall, and
This area?
behind that, in the plan, there's a bathroom and a closet. So you could maybe put some higher clear story windows, or, maybe even just one window in the bathroom or something like that would be, perfectly fine to help balance the.
That was discussed actually with the designer in the past.
Okay.
This is a newer version of his design. Yes, we can definitely make that as a consideration.
Okay.
Do we have a motion at this point?
Yeah, I'll move it
Thank you so
for
much.
approval with the one consideration.
I'll second.
Thank you so much. And we have Board Member Luckerf,
Yes.
Board Member Kaskanian,
Yes.
Board Member Welch,
Yes.
and Chairperson Halajian.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Motion passes. Approved with one consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Mr. Chair, I'll move we adjourn.
Adjourn.
Yes,
Thank you.
please.
Second.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.